Good morning, everyone. This is Travis with Gun.Deals, and today we are in this beautiful Florida spring morning looking at a completely new animal, the CMMG Four Six. The CMMG Four Six is the world's first 4.6 by 30mm AR pistol, not rifle. Although they do make an SBR version if you want to take that route. This is the brace pistol variant. Now, the 4.6 by 30 is a cartridge famously used in the MP7, which is a weapon used by Navy SEALs, LAPD, and other kind of elite special operations. It's considered a PDW round, a personal defense weapon round. And as such, it falls between a rifle and pistol caliber, which is kind of interesting for a little gun like this. And it has a lot of intrinsic benefits for little guns, especially for something this small, but also a few downsides. And we're going to talk about all that, and we're going to dive into the CMMG Four Six. Before we dive too deep into the CMMG Four Six, let's talk about the 4.6 by 30mm round. So it falls between a rifle and a pistol cartridge. And here you can see it compared to a normal 223 cartridge. As you can see, it's much smaller, but it keeps that same Spitzer bullet design. That little pointy style bullet, that's a Spitzer. So when it hits the body, it tumbles. And as it tumbles, it does more damage as it goes through the body. Now, it does meet the FBI minimum standards for ballistic gel and penetration, so it will go deep enough to strike something vital. And that tumbling action is a little bit different than what we're used to from such a small cartridge, but it's highly effective. Now, the benefits over a pistol round is that it penetrates deeper and easier and tumbles. Normally with a pistol round, we rely on expansion from a jacketed hollow point projectile. Now, the benefit over a rifle round is that you can use a very, very short barrel without a ton of concussion. You're also not getting a ton of recoil from this design. Now, another benefit of the 4.6 by 30 is the fact that it has a much longer range than a pistol cartridge. Out to about 150 yards, it's fairly easy to hit whatever you're aiming at. It's a very flat shooting cartridge. Now, it doesn't offer the same rifle range or rifle power, but it does allow you to use a smaller, lighter configuration. Now, this gun uses an 8-inch barrel, and you could get a 300 blackout with something similar, and that is a possibility, but ultimately this weapon is going to offer you a lot less recoil. The combination of the 4.6 round and CMMG's muzzle brake makes this recoil more like a rimfire than an actual rifle. So it's very controllable and it's very lightweight. In fact, you can even control it with a single arm fairly easy, including aiming it as designed with the pistol brace. Now, for a weapon this small with this low recoil, that allows you to get really, really fast follow-up shots on target. You could really, blister through a couple double taps with the gun barely moving. And since the gun's barely moving, you can literally shoot your target to the ground. And if someone's breaking into your home, you have a weapon that's controllable, that's very small, that works very well indoors, and is also easy to wield with a single hand. In a home defense situation, you may be using the other hand to call the police, to usher children, to close and lock doors, and you still want to be able to maintain control of your weapon, and you can with the CMMG Four Six. So what are we getting with the CMMG Four Six? First and foremost, we are getting a direct impingement AR-15. It uses the same style of operation as a normal AR-15. It is not a blowback operated gun, which results in very low recoil and very low muzzle rise. We have an 8-inch barrel, and then we have a total length of a little bit over 26 inches with the brace fully extended. That is the fastback brace. Now, this brace essentially allows you to pull it to a pre-measured setting, and you use a set screw in the buffer tube to establish that setting. So it pulls to the same length you want it to every time. Mine's maxed out. I'm a big guy. And that's all I have to do. We get an ambidextrous safety. We get a nice charging handle, and we get pretty standard AR features. One of the things that really stands out to me was the magazine design. It is proprietary, but it uses a mil-spec magwell. So this magazine's dimensions are the same as an AR-15's, but scaled down a bit. Benefit to that is if you want to use your own lower and order just an upper and a bolt carrier group from BANSHEE or from CMMG, you can. And you can use your CMMG Four Six mags in normal AR-15 mag pouches, so you don't have to upgrade your pouches at all. So it's a very well thought out design. As you see here, I have the Holosun AIM sitting on it, and we have a simple M-LOK handguard. So it's not too different from most standard AR-15s. And if you use an AR-15, you'll graduate to the Four Six without any issues. So let's talk about what it's like to shoot the CMMG Four Six. If I had just to use one word, it would be controllable. This weapon has very little recoil and very little muzzle rise. It's comfortable for any size shooter to handle, including even kids. I mean, it's a little bit more than a 22, but not much. I'd put it in that rimfire category, maybe something like a semi-auto 22 Magnum. That's what the recoil feels like. It's very limited and very nice. Accuracy-wise, this thing is a tack driver. Now, if you combined accuracy with ease of control, what you get is a weapon that you can shoot fast and you can shoot straight. So dishing out long strings of fire, double taps, failure to stop drills, very simple to do with this weapon. Now on top of that, the ergonomics are great. Magazine drops free. It's a big magazine, so reloads are easy. You get 40 rounds of 4.6 by 30 millimeter in this mag. That's a lot of ammo for what's essentially a magazine the size of a 30 round AR-15 mag. Home defense ranges might be measured in, 10 to 15 yards, but the CMMG Four Six can go a lot farther than that. I've taken it out to 150 yards and rang steel consistently, even just using this red dot. I think honestly a magnified optic would be best if you're going to take this weapon outside of the home. It could be one heck of a coyote hunter, small game killer, things like that. Like I said, that big benefit of the 4.6 cartridge is you get a little more range, making this your 2022's M1 carbine, if you will. Now, in terms of reliability, I did not have any issues, and I've just been using some very cheap training ammo. 4.6 by 30 millimeter is not cheap ammo, and it can be tougher to find. It's a lot like 5.7, but it's cheaper than 5.7. So it doesn't need the lacquer coat that 5.7 needs to cycle, so that makes it a little bit cheaper. It also makes it possible to reload in the future. Now, because the CMMG Four Six is the first civilian available weapon I know in 4.6, ammo is still kind of pricey and still hard to get, but as the popularity of this round increases in this handgun, I'm sure the price will be driven down, especially if competition enters the ring. With that being said, if the weapon did have a malfunction, it clears just like any AR. It takes no time at all. It's a very functional weapon and very, very useful. So I really like what CMMG is doing. They seem to be taking the AR-15 and putting every caliber under the sun in it. Now, this is not only the first AR in 4.6, but as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure this is the first civilian available weapon in 4.6 by 30, and I think that's exciting. The more calibers we have available to us, the better. This caliber, to me, is just very interesting. It's such a weird in-between between pistol and rifle cartridge, but it's also super handy, especially if you're not needing that size and girth of a rifle. You want something light, handy, but still very lethal, then the 4.6 has you covered. So, check out the CMMG Four Six. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. I try to answer them as quick as I can. And you guys just have a great day, and thank you for watching.